Corcovado parted the sky, and through the darkness on us he shined. Crucified in stone, still his blood is my own. Glory, behold, all my eyes have seen, have seen. I am blessed, I am blessed, I am blessed, I am blessed, I am blessed to be a witness. Some have flown away and can't be with us today. So much sorrow, sorrow and pain. Still I will not live in vain. Like good questions never asked. Is wisdom wasted on the past? Only by the grace of God. I am blessed, I am blessed, I am blessed, I am blessed, I am blessed to be a witness.
Shepherd, I have all I need. She makes me lie down in green meadows, beside the still waters she will lead. She restores my soul, she rights my wrongs. She leads me in the path of good things. She fills my heart with songs. Even though I walk through a dark and dreary land, there is nothing that can shake me. She has said she won't forsake me. I'm in her hand. She sets a table before me in the presence of my foes. She anoints my head with oil, and my cup overflows. Surely, surely goodness and kindness will follow me all the days of my life, and I will live in her house forever, forever and ever. Glory be to our Mother and Daughter, and to the Holy of Holies, as it was in the beginning, is now, and ever shall be, world without end.
We arrive together here. May our joining be a blessing. May it bring joy for those in need of delight. May it provide comfort to those who are in pain. May it bring hope to those who despair. May it bring peace to those who are troubled. May it bring wisdom and guidance for our journeys. And though this joining may be for just a moment in time, this moment is all we can ever be certain of. May we embrace this and every instant of our lives. Come, let us worship together. We now invite Julie, James, Brian, Raffi, and Joni Petruska to kindle our chalice flame.
This is A Spark of Hope by Melanie Davis. If ever there were a time for a candle in the darkness, this would be it. Using a spark of hope, kindle the flame of love, ignite the light of peace, and feed the flame of justice.
Good morning, All Souls. We know that as we journey back to spring and more sunshine, hopefully we are doing it together. We are climbing on, as our opening hymn says. Please join us in singing We Are Climbing Jacob's Ladder. The words will scroll across your screen. Good morning.
We are climbing Jacob's ladder. We are climbing Jacob's ladder. We are climbing Jacob's ladder. We
Welcome, All Souls. My name is Reverend Maybelle Taylor Bennett, and my pronouns are she, her, and hers. We welcome all who have joined us this morning, especially if you are joining us for the very first time. We are now a global church community where our name, All Souls, says it all. Here we seek to create a community where all people of all races, creeds, sexual orientations, gender expressions, and abilities, all people are welcome at the table of God's love and human fellowship. Our mission at All Souls is to build what Dr. King called the beloved community in the midst of the division and the over againstness we experience in our environment. Our intention is to create sacred space for a diverse, spirit filled, justice seeking community that bears witness to the unity of the human family. We invite you to join us on this journey of faith and hope. Again, if you are visiting us for the first time, we welcome you. Please send a direct message to Gary Penn, Membership Coordinator, if you'd like to be included on our mailing list. In an effort to acknowledge and support Indigenous communities, it is important to recognize the land on which our church stands. The closest tribe was Nacotchtank, from which the name Anacostia is derived. They are part of the Piscataway group of tribes. We acknowledge that Indigenous peoples were here before us, are here now with us, and will continue to be with us as we look forward to the future. Let us take a moment of silence to reflect on whose land we each reside in our individual and collective locations around the US and the planet Earth. Now, if we were together in the building, we would turn and greet one another. While we are still online, though, we do something called beholding. Take a moment to scroll through the gallery view, say hello in the chat to one another, and behold one another's faces as we together create community.
The Director of Religious Education. The All Souls theme for May is blessing. Blessing, an unexpected favor or approval or protection. Once upon a time, there was a town. And in this town, there lived a little boy who loved to play the ukulele. People would say,
"Stop that racket! Get that thing out of here!"
Not only that, but the boy's father was a magician, and he got into trouble making things disappear with his magic wand. He'd come up to someone about to have a nice, refreshing glass of water, and zoop! Or say someone was trying to fix a chair.
Zoop! I've had enough. Take your magic wand and your ukulele playing son and just get it.
The boy and his father were ostracized. It meant they had to go live on the edge of town. Now, also in this town, the old people told stories about a giant from the old days. The giant's name was Abby-Yo-Yo. They said he was as tall as a tree and would eat people. Well, of course, no one believed this story, but they kept telling it anyway. Then, one morning, people woke up and felt the ground shaking.
What's happening?
Abiyoyo's coming.
Just then, the boy and his father woke up.
Son, it's Abiyoyo! If only I could find a way to make him lie down, I could make him disappear.
They ran outside. There was Abiyoyo. He had long fingernails because he never cut them. He had stinky feet because he never washed them. He had matted hair because he never brushed it. Abiyoyo raised his claws. Just then, the boy started playing the ukulele and singing a song. Abiyoyo had never heard a song about himself before, so he started dancing. And he danced and danced, and the boy played and played, and the faster he played, the faster Abiyoyo danced, until he ran out of breath and fell down.
Come back to town. Bring your darn wand and your ukulele. We don't care anymore.
And the townspeople now knew that the boy and his father were their blessing.
My whole family is still reeling over here from our acting debut here. But to share some more good news about exciting things that are happening for our children and youth, here is All Souls Camp Director Dante Pope with a special message about our upcoming in-person UU Arts Summer Camp.
No, don't. I'm going to open.
I'm Jen Heyman, Director of Music and Arts.
My name is Rochelle Rice, Associate Director of Music and Arts.
My name is Dante Pope, Camp Director for All Souls UU Arts Summer Camp. As Camp Director, I'm committed to creating an environment of learning and play through arts integration.
Our summer camp will provide participants with hands-on experience with advocacy, music theater, arts and craft, and more.
The camp will culminate in a performance of a multidisciplinary arts experience that reflects our values as a diverse, spirit-growing, justice-seeking community.
Hi, I'm Louise, your Minister of Congregational Care. And Jen, you just have to keep explaining to me why I cannot enroll in camp. I'm going to work on that. Today, you are invited to coffee hour social time by staying on this Zoom after the service. We're so glad that everyone's here. And you may also join the Mindful Souls, an affinity group that meets every single Sunday from 11:45 to 12:30 for group meditation and discussion. The Zoom link will be in the chat, and it's on our website homepage calendar, which is where you can always find events and Zoom links. Next Saturday, May 8th, is our annual Mother's Day weekend plant sale, which is the day before Mother's Day, so you can get your plant for whomever. An in-person spring event on the All Souls Terrace. Yay! We depend on your plant donations, so we're ready to collect them. You need to bring those plants to the Harvard Street door Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday between 9 and 3:30. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday between 9 and 3:30. You need to label each plant with its name, its care instructions, and the dollar amount that you feel the plant is worth. And then we'll see you next Saturday for the plant sale itself from noon to 4, a great chance to meet, mingle, and buy plants to benefit our congregation. Also next Saturday is our annual budget hearing in the morning from 11 to noon on Zoom. Please join our elected board treasurer, Bernard Mustafa, executive director, Tracy Hughes Trotter, and Reverend Kathleen to hear about the budget priorities for the new church year. This is your chance to ask questions, give input. Budget documents and the Zoom link will be posted on the All Souls website on Monday, tomorrow, not today, tomorrow. And the hearing details will be in the Friday weekly bulletin as well. Now here's a heads up about next Sunday. Next Sunday is Mother's Day, as previously mentioned, and we are doing something different. We're returning to the original purpose of the holiday, started in 1870 with a proclamation from a famous Unitarian, Julia Ward Howe, calling for women in particular to work for peace, thus Mother's Day. On May 9th, we'll move from that original focus on international peace to our current local challenges. In Julia Ward Howe's time and ours, mothers were losing their children to war. And in our time, mothers, grandmothers, aunts, guardians, especially Black, Brown, Asian American mothers, are also losing their children to police violence and gun violence. And so the service will focus on how we must redefine the concept of safety and take action within and beyond the congregation. Next Sunday, the May 9th after hour conversation will also offer a chance for some small group reflection on this effort and our ongoing commitment. And now over to Reverend Kathleen for a special announcement.
Good morning, All Souls. I want to add my welcome. I'm Reverend Kathleen Rolands, and serving as your interim senior minister, pronouns she, her, hers. And I wanted to take this moment for a special announcement. This year, as some of you may know, we had been in search for a minister of adult spiritual development, and we were unable to find the right person for that position. So over the course of months and with many conversations with many leaders in the congregation, we decided we had to get creative. And I wondered if All Souls might attract a seasoned and experienced minister of color to serve in the position of what I'm calling a minister in residence for the 2021-2022 church year. This minister would preach and teach monthly, would be available for pastoral care and, as they say, other duties as needed. This minister would also lend their experience, knowledge, and wisdom and provide valuable support and counsel to All Souls, to the staff, and to the members during this time of transition. So I am pleased to announce that the Reverend Dr. Bill Sinkford has agreed to be All Souls Minister in Residence for the upcoming church year, starting in September. Reverend Bill is currently serving as the senior minister of the First Church of Portland, Oregon, and we are expecting this to be an on-site position approximately once a month, in addition to being available and participating via Zoom. This is a new idea and one that is evolving, but I can tell you that your minister, staff, leaders are very excited that Reverend Singford has agreed to be with us monthly for the upcoming year. A more detailed description of the Minister in Residence program will be in this Friday's e-newsletter, and there will be a Q&A scheduled this month. So look for that in the newsletter. It is a blessing to be walking this journey with you, and I hope that all of you will be excited about Reverend Singford and what he brings as part of our staff next in September, beginning in September. Thanks so much.
And now we move to the joys and concerns of this community and the wider world as we create a space for shared meditation today. First, a celebration. We rejoice that Charles Smith and Jessica Mead were married last weekend, April 24th, in Nags Head, North Carolina, in front of family and friends. We are sending housewarming blessings to the Reverend Don Robinson this morning as he settles into Knollwood Community in Chevy Chase, DC. Our hearts are still with Carol Chamberlain, who has been at Forest Hills Rehab Facility this week after a fall that required hip surgery. And we grieve with Mara Rosenberg, whose 19-year-old niece, Kara, died earlier in April. We send deep love and prayers to Mara, her brother Josh, and Kara's mother, Naomi. And now your names, your situations into this shared space. What is on your heart and mind, either into the chat or in the room or space that you inhabit at the moment. And each name that we say is part of what is on our heart and mind. And we name just a few of the world events that deserve our compassion and action as well. Each tragedy impacts us and our relationships with family, friends, and broader communities. We grieve with the family of Anthony Brown in Elizabeth City, North Carolina, and another loss of a Black man to police violence. We mourn with the people of India in the midst of enormous crisis from COVID infection, death, and medical shortage. We lament with those in the Orthodox Jewish communities in Israel and the US facing grieving many deaths at an overcrowded religious event. And in this May, Asian Heritage Month, we abhor the rise in hate speech and crimes against Asian and Pacific Islanders in this community and beyond. And we offer our solidarity. Valerie Carr is a national organizer and leader in the Sikh community and beyond. She wrote, "Shallow solidarity is based on the logic of exchange. You show up for me and I will show up for you. But deep solidarity is rooted in recognition. Deep solidarity is rooted in recognition. I show up for you because I see you as part of me. Your liberation is bound up in my own," she concludes. And so we hold a moment of silence together, committing to this vision of deeper solidarity, remembering this interdependent web of existence, which binds us all. Remembering our deep connections. For all that is named, for all that is spoken and unspoken, blessed be. Amen.
Our scripture this morning is taken from the book of Genesis, chapter 32, verses 22 to 31 in the New International Version. That night, Jacob got up and took his 2 wives, his 2 female servants, and his 11 sons, and crossed the ford of the Jabbok. After he had seen them across the stream, he sent over all his possessions. So Jacob was left alone, and a man wrestled with him till daybreak. When the man saw that he could not overpower him, he touched the socket of Jacob's hip, so that his hip was wrenched as he wrestled with the man. Then the man said, "Let me go, for it is daybreak." But Jacob replied, "I will not let you go unless you bless me." The man asked him, "What is your name?" "Jacob," he answered. Then the man said, "Your name will no longer be Jacob, but Israel, because you have struggled with God and with humans and have overcome." Jacob said, "Please tell me your name." But he replied, "Why do you ask my name?" Then he blessed him there. So Jacob called the place Peniel, saying, "It is because I saw God face to face, and yet my life was spared." The sun rose above him as he passed Peniel, and he was limping because of his hip.
All souls, it is indeed a blessing to be here with you this morning. I'm using that word blessing intentionally because, as you heard from this morning's fabulous story, Abby Yo-Yo, the theme for our services in May is blessing. And many faith traditions use the word blessing perhaps more freely than ours because it has its roots in the idea that a person or nation is blessed by God. And so by saying I'm blessed is another way of thanking God for that blessing. But today I want to explore and then expand on the idea of blessing. And to do that, I'm going to go to one of the most iconic stories in the Hebrew scriptures, the one that you just heard in this morning's reading. Jacob wrestling with the mystery man, demanding that he receive a blessing. But in order to get us to the blessings, we first have to get to the backstory. So let me tell you a little something about what preceded Jacob's all-night wrestling match. It was Tolstoy who wrote, "Happy families are all alike. Every unhappy family is unhappy in its own way." Jacob's family was not a happy family. We learned that Jacob has a twin brother, Esau, and the wrestling between Jacob and Esau began in the womb. And when they were born, Esau was their father Isaac's favorite son, but Jacob, well, he was a mama's boy and spoiled rotten by his mother, Rebecca. As a teenager, Jacob dupes his brother Esau into giving him his birthright, and he deceives his own father to get his blessing instead of Esau. And when we meet Jacob in this passage, he is on the run from his brother Esau, who has gathered an army together, likely with the intention of annihilating Jacob and his family. Is this all because Jacob got his daddy's blessing? Is this really that powerful a word? Well, in our culture, not so much. Like so many religious words that find their way into our common speech, it's now used quite freely. It's found on pillows and little signs that say things like grateful, thankful, blessed. Or it would seem that every president of the United States must end their speech with, "And God bless the United States of America." So blessing is one of those words that's made it into secular culture that we take for granted. It's a religious sounding word. It's a way of saying I or we have been fortunate. It's a nice word. It's a comforting word. It's a sweet word, unless you are Esau, Jacob's brother. In ancient times, for a father to bless a son, and yes, it always was a son, it wasn't just a pat on the head or the equivalent of handing over the reins to the chariot. It was a bestowal of power and authority. But with that blessing is the expectation that they who receive the blessing will use it for the benefit of family and community. It reminds me of a storyline in the graphic novel series Black Panther. King T'Challa gives Clementine a potion of vibranium to drink, which will bestow upon Clementine incredible powers. But he cautions, the people of Wakanda have blessed you with this gift, he says. Use it to only fight evil and to protect those you love. If you should in any way abuse this gift or use it for the wrong reasons, we will find you and we will strip you of these powers. So Jacob gets the blessing, but does not use it to benefit anyone but himself. He lies, he steals, he cheats, and then he runs. Time and time again, Jacob makes the wrong choice based on his own arrogance and desire for power. But now, Jacob is alone, and Esau and those 400 men on the other side of the river, and night is fallen fast. This story of warring twins on opposite sides of a river reminds me of our country right now. We could characterize our warring twins as the right and the left, the conservatives and the liberals, but whatever we want to call them, the river that divides them is indeed deep. All of these differences are long-standing and well-known. But the newest protestation that is vexing to me is that one camp continues to insist that by somehow telling the truth about the river of American history that they are camped beside, specifically the upstream impact of slavery and white supremacy and white privilege on the nation's inequities is, well, it's such a downer. In his rebuttal to President Biden's Wednesday night address, Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina argued that Americans are spending too much time feeling bad about America's original sin, and instead we should celebrate the progress we've made as a nation, particularly with race relations. It's a refrain I hear often from both politicians and my conservative Facebook friends, who feel that America has been blessed with resources and riches, and that we should be celebrating that blessing instead of constantly challenging it and critiquing ourselves. But there is another twin, the one who is waiting on the other side of the river, who says, this river is not clean. And until we know what has happened upstream, it will never be clean. You have wronged me. And there can be no reconciliation without a reckoning. So Jacob is alone on one side of this river. And then the scripture says, and a man wrestled with him until the break of dawn. I wonder, where did this man come from? What did he look like? What did he say? The text doesn't say. It just says he wrestled with him until the break of dawn. Jacob was wrestling with something that is translated as a man, but Jewish scriptures and Midrash, commentary on the scriptures, have often identified this as a divine being, because sometimes God and angels appear in human form. Now, we don't know what form this being took, but we do know that he and this man or angel or spirit or ghost were engaged in mortal combat for hours, all night long, the story tells us. Have you ever wrestled with anything in the middle of the night? I don't know about you, but I am now in the habit of waking up at 3 a.m., wrestling with my own mind. Now, it's not every night, fortunately, but sometimes I wake up and I just can't shut my brain off. I'm thinking about you, All Souls, and I'm thinking about reopening and what that's going to be like, and I'm thinking about the trauma of the nation and the world post-pandemic, and I'm thinking about your kids going back to school or not going back to school, and I'm thinking about what kind of environment my grandkids are going to inherit if we don't, if not reverse, at least stall climate change and global warming. I think about these outrageous and damaging legislation that is making their way through the states that affect our transgender and genderqueer kids. And I'm thinking about the hate crimes against Asian Americans and Black boys and girls and Muslim Americans. And I feel like I am wrestling with some unknown, unnamed force in the middle of the night. And then in that liminal space of 3 a.m., when I can't sleep, sometimes questions tug at my soul, not just the big existential questions of politics or climate change, but reviewing and replaying the interactions of the day or the week. And sometimes those come up wanting. Maybe you've been there too, wondering things like, why was I so judgmental of my friend? Why did I pick a fight with my spouse? Why am I in constant conflict with my child? Why can't I just let them be who they're becoming? Why do I have that extra drink at dinner and then after dinner and then a nightcap, even when my beloved has asked me to stop? It's the 3 a.m. wrestling with our own moral compass, our own soul. And maybe that's what Jacob was doing that night. Too often in life, we know these things about ourselves, but it isn't until we are faced with a crisis that we must confront that voice that also lives within us that says, this is not who I want to be. We know something about Jacob because we know something about ourselves. So what happens next? When the man saw that he had not prevailed against him, he wrenched Jacob's hip at its socket so that the socket of his hip was strained as he wrestled with him. And then the man said, let me go, for dawn is breaking. And Jacob said, I will not let you go until you bless me. So Jacob is winning in this wrestling match, but he is wounded in the process. You see, all his life, he's gotten the blessings by hook or by crook. He's been listened to. He's been appreciated. He's been approved his whole life. He's gotten the job promotion, the housing loan, the equivalent of entrance to the country club. People have moved over to allow him to take over, and now it's reckoning time. He can run, but he can't hide because now this adversary has come to find him. But you see, Jacob is a good wrestler. He's been trained at Ivy League schools. So he is winning this match. But even so, there's one thing it turns out he cannot force. He cannot force this being to give him a blessing. He has to earn it. And getting that blessing comes with a price. These days, we talk about a blessing, something like luck, as something we hope will just happen in our lives. Oh, I am so blessed, we say, but we often don't want the blessing without the burden. It's like you want the wedding, but not the marriage. You want the baby, but not the ball. And you want the degree, but not the drudgery. You want the paycheck, but not the pressure. You want the blessings of a good life, but not the strain or the conflict or strife. That's what Jacob was finally coming to realize. He can't have the blessing without the burden. He had messed up his relationship his entire life. His brother hated him so much, he wanted to kill him. He was all alone, but for this man or this angel or who knows what was wrestling with him, and he had the audacity to ask for a blessing. But the blessing he actually gets is not the one he thought he wanted. This being doesn't come out and say the 3 words that Jacob wants to hear, simply, I bless you. Instead, he asks him a question. He says, what is your name? I can hear Joseph ask, I can hear Jacob ask, we've been wrestling all night and you still don't know my name? Names are important because names are part of our identity, and most names have a meaning associated with them. So instead of a blessing, the man says, your name shall no longer be Jacob, but Israel, for you have striven with beings divine and human, and have prevailed. So I had to look up, what does the name Israel mean? And rabbinical scholars don't have a consensus on this, but one interpretation is simply God rules. God rules. So Jacob gets a new name as a blessing, but the adversary still has the last word. He is able to walk away from this wrestling match, but he will walk forever with a limp because of it. He is humbled by this encounter, naming this place of struggle as Peniel, which means I have seen a divine being face to face, yet my life has been preserved. This story has a kind of happy ending. After Jacob's exhausting night of wrestling, he sees Esau coming towards him. He puts himself ahead of his family. He bows to the ground 7 times, and it is all on Esau now. What shall he do? The text says, Esau ran to greet him. He embraced him, and falling on his neck, he kissed him, and they wept. Instead of enacting revenge, he chose to give Jacob a blessing. We have to wonder why. Perhaps Esau believed that Jacob was truly repentant for his sins. Perhaps he could tell that Jacob himself had had an inner reckoning. Perhaps he was just tired of fighting the same old battles and thought, why not give a blessing and see what happens next? To bless another or the world, it's not an easy choice. And all the hurts and harms are not swept away by simply pronouncing a blessing. But to bless one another and to strive to bless the world is a better choice ultimately. And this is what I hear echoed in the writing of the poet, Jan Christensen, to whom I will give the last word today in her poem, Wrestling the Blessing. She writes, quote, if this blessing were easy, anyone could claim it. As it is, I am here to tell you that it will take some work. This is the blessing that visits you in the struggling, in the wrestling, in the striving. This is the blessing that comes after you have left everything behind, after you have stepped out, after you have crossed into that realm beyond every landmark you have known. This is the blessing that takes all night to find. It's not that this blessing is so difficult as if it were not filled with grace or with the love that lives in every line. It's simply that it requires you to want it, to ask for it, to place yourself in its path. It demands that you stand to meet it when it arrives, that you stretch yourself in ways you didn't know you could move, that you agree to not give up. So when this blessing comes, born in the hands of the difficult angel who has chosen you, do not let go. Give yourself into its grip. It will wound you. But I tell you, there will come a day when what felt to you like limping was something more like dancing as you moved into the cadence of your new and blessed name. I can say this now. Blessings to you, all souls. May it be so.
I don't want to wait anymore. I'm tired of looking for answers. Take me someplace where there's music and there's laughter. I don't know if I'm scared of dying, but I'm scared of living too fast or too slow. Regret, remorse, hold on. No, I gotta go. There's no starting over, no new beginnings. Time races on, and you just Gotta keep on keeping on. Gotta keep on going, looking straight out on the road. Can't worry about what's behind you, it's coming for you further up the road. Try not to hold on to what is gone. Try to do right what is wrong. Try to keep on keeping on. Yeah, I just keep on keeping on. I hear a voice calling, calling out for me. These shackles I've made in an attempt to be free. Be it for reason, be it for love, I won't take the easy road. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Whoa. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Whoa. Woken up in a hotel room, my worries as big as the moon, having no idea who, what, or where I am. Something good comes for the bad, the song's never just sad. There's hope, there's a silver lining. Show me my silver lining. Show me my silver lining. I hear a voice calling, calling out me. These shackles I made, be it for reason, be it for love, I won't take the easy road. I won't take the easy road, the easy road, the easy road. Whoa. I won't take the easy road, the easy road, the easy road. Whoa. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Whoa. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Whoa. Show me my silver lining. Gotta keep on keeping on. Show me my silver lining. Gotta keep on keeping on. Show me my silver lining. Gotta keep on keeping on. Show me my silver lining. Gotta keep on keeping on. Gotta keep on keeping on.
This morning's offering is a gift that we give one another. When you make a donation to our virtual offering plate, you are sending a message to all those who hold this church in tender care. You are saying, I see you. I thank you for being here. When you make and pay on your pledge, whether all at once or 1 month at a time, you're sending a clear signal to the members and staff of the All Souls Church that says, I am here and we are here together. So we're asking you to consider 2 gifts this morning. If you haven't made your pledge for the 2021-2022 church year, please do so now. And then make a gift to the church as we pass the virtual plate. Thank you in advance for your generosity. Let the morning offering now be taken.
pierced me through, still I kept on loving you. If they ask what I did best, tell them I said yes to love.
In every struggle, there is also a blessing. In every burden, there is also a silver lining. So take your struggles and burdens and find therein the blessing, the silver lining, and then go be a blessing to others. Go in peace this day and all days. Amen, and blessed be.
Then a rainstorm came over me, and I felt my spirit break. I had lost all of my belief, you see. I realized my mistake, but time threw a prayer to me, and all around me became still. I need love, love's divine. Please forgive me now. I see that I've been blind. Give me love. Love is what I need to help me know my name. In the rainstorm came sanctuary, and I felt my spirit fly. I have found all of my reality. I realized what it takes. Give me love, love divine. Please forgive me now. I see that I've been blind. Give me love, love is what I need to help me know my name. Oh, I don't beg, don't pray. Show me how to live and promise me you won't forsake. Love will help me know my name. Well, I try to say there's nothing wrong, but deep inside I feel me dying all along. But the message here is plain to see. Believe me, give me love, love divine. Please forgive me now. I see that I've been blind. I need love. am blind. Give me love. Love is what I need. Love is what I need to help me. When I've walked to the end of my road, I've walked to the end of my road. Love, love, I need love. Love is what I need to help me know my name. And if you just love me, love will help me know my name.